of our news this morning. You are a great audience, so we are appreciative of the time that you continue to spend with us right here on this platform. Stay with us now as we bring you the news. It is Tuesday, sorry, that should be Wednesday. It's Wednesday, December 13th. Good morning to you. My name is Leon Nash with the news right here on our platforms, nrpmediaja.com, Facebook and YouTube at NRP Media JA. It's the NRP Break of Day newscast. The headlines: Tourism Minister hails Jamaica's tourism industry as a remarkable success. PNP says violent crimes continue despite the use of SOEs. Businesses urged to embrace more use of CCTV to help in preventing and solving crimes. And in sport, West Indies win England again in first of five match T20 series in Barbados yesterday. The news today comes to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. There are no boundaries. There are no limitations whatsoever. Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities, along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So, call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Now for the news in detail. Minister of Tourism Ed Bartlett has highlighted what he calls the remarkable success of Jamaica's tourism industry and its record-breaking achievements. He told the House on Tuesday afternoon that the tourism industry stands as a beacon of economic growth and prosperity. Mr. Bartlett said that Jamaica's tourism sector experienced unprecedented growth in 2023 and that the influx of tourists has translated into a significant economic boost, with revenues reaching new heights. According to Mr. Bartlett, estimates indicate that the island should record a total of more than 4.1 million visitors for the period January to December 2023. And Mr. Bartlett said this would signal an increase of nearly 24% over the total number of visitors recorded in 2022. Furthermore, Mr. Bartlett also highlighted the creation of the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme, indicating that the industry was not just about the visitors, but also about workers. He said the pension scheme was a world record-breaking initiative, as Jamaica was the only country with a comprehensive scheme for all areas. Mr. Bartlett said the fund was now healthy at over $3 billion. I will get to that clip now with Mr. Bartlett as he spoke about the tourism sector in the House of Representatives yesterday.
Only country in the world that has a comprehensive pension plan for all categories of workers in the tourism industry. That the process began the 1st of January 2023. The government of Jamaica provided $1 billion Jamaican dollars to seed the process to enable what we call the augmented saver to be able to get the same pension, even though he starts saving at age 59 and retires at 65, he will get the same pension as though he was there from he was 18 years old.
That was Minister of Tourism Ed Bartlett. Spokesman for National Security, Senator Peter Bunting, said violent crime continues to escalate across Jamaica despite the government's declaration of states of emergency SOEs in 5 parishes and 1 police division. In a release Tuesday, Senator Bunting said the opposition is demanding an immediate re-evaluation of Jamaica's crime management strategies in the face of the persistent failure to provide a safe environment for citizens. The opposition spokesman said the leadership of both the government and the Jamaica Constabulary Force have been touting the supposed success of the recent SOEs.
The leadership of both the government and the JCF have been touting the supposed success of the recent SOEs. However, their self-congratulatory indulgence has been short-lived, as at least 21 murders have occurred since last Friday's SOE expansion. Most of these murders took place in SOE areas. Last week, there were 38 murders reported across Jamaica. The incidents of violence coming to public attention have only intensified in the current week.
And Senator Bunting listed some of the crimes, including the killing of a well-known Westmoreland businessman, the shooting death of a schoolboy sheltering from the rain in St. James, and the murder of siblings in Westmoreland. He said these incidents highlight an administration bankrupt of ideas that continue to rely slowly or solely on ineffective emergency measures to curb the deeply rooted issues of crime and violence. He said it was time to abandon the failed strategies and embrace a multifaceted approach to tackle crime and violence head on.
The Prime Minister, the Minister of Security, and the Commissioner of Police must be held accountable by the people of Jamaica for failing to ensure the safety of our communities and our citizens. It's imperative that we adopt a more comprehensive and nuanced approach that targets the root causes of crime while safeguarding the lives and security of all Jamaicans. The opposition remains available to the government to partner on national security, as we believe it requires every hand on deck.
That was the opposition spokesman on national security, Senator Peter Bunting. In other news, Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of Area 1, Clifford Chambers, has appealed to business interests, particularly in St. James, to embrace CCTV as a growing and effective tool to solving many of the crimes committed in business districts. Speaking in an interview with our newsroom, ACP Chambers indicated that the police would welcome more businesses providing more connection of their CCTVs to the Jamaica Eye program, thus making more images and videos available to the police to prevent or solve crimes committed especially during the festive season. And we come now to that clip from ACP Chambers as he reacts to the CCTV issue.
We are doing all we can to ensure that the general public is given the necessary security assurances. It is critical that we secure the public, it's critical that we secure business community, and it's critical that we deter criminals from committing an offense, and if it is so committed, that we have all the necessary support in identifying the accused and solving such crime. So as we move in the Yuletide season, help us to help you as we try to secure Jamaica, land we love.
Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of Area 1, Clifford Chambers. Only recently, the St. James Police arrested and charged a man for murder assisted by footage they obtained from CCTV videos provided in and around the area in which the crime was committed. A number of communities in the St. Elizabeth Police Division have been banned from hosting public events. In a letter to the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation yesterday, Acting Divisional Commander in charge of the parish, Jermaine Latibadier, indicated that in light of the recent increase in murders in the division, at least 6 areas in the parish will be prohibited from hosting any public events such as dances, parties, round-robin, drink-out, among others. The areas include Goshen in the Santa Cruz Police area and Balaclava, Oxford, Union, Content, and Elim in the Balaclava Police area. The police have, however, indicated that Grant Market will be permitted in the Balaclava area on December 22. Meanwhile, the Kingston Western Police Division has listed several persons of interest in their division. The following individuals are to report to the Denham Town Criminal Investigations Branch on or before 6 p.m. today, Wednesday, December 13. They are Mario Morgan, otherwise called Dede, Damari Mitchell, otherwise called Chiniman, Nash Avanash Bryson, Romaria Goburn, otherwise called Bay, O'Dane Brown, otherwise called Shane, Rahan Edwards, otherwise called Cornhead, Gary McLeod, otherwise called Coco Reds, Michael Iron, otherwise called Blacks or Blackie, Joseph Reed, otherwise called Joe, a man known only as Bunny Scott of Buckass Address, a man known only as John Senior of a 3rd Street address, and detectives have identified these individuals as persons who may be able to assist them with ongoing investigations in the division. Additionally, anyone with information that can assist in locating these individuals is being asked to contact the Denham Town CIB at 876-948-6443, Crime Stop at 311, the JCF tip line at 811, or the nearest police station. And a 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Trenchtown in Kingston 12. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, December 12, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Thursday, December 14. The boundaries of the curfew are north along 7th Street and upper 1st Street intersection to the intersection of Ralph Lane and 7th Street. South along Spanish Town Road from the intersection of Milk Lane to the intersection of Spanish Town Road and West Road. East along Ralph Lane to the intersection of Metcalf Street to the intersection of Milk Lane and onto the intersection of Milk Lane and the Spanish Town Road. West along West Road from the intersection of West Road and Spanish Town Road to the intersection of Upper 1st Street and West Road to the intersection of Upper 1st Street and 7th Street. During the hours of the curfew, all persons within these boundaries are required to remain within the premises for 48 hours unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. You're listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, the sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations. Now let's give you some sporting information, and today our sporting information is brought to you by Hepburn's Glass. They are located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 908-0962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
Thank you very much for waiting in the news package on cricket news. Now, England let a dominant position slip as they fell to a 4-wicket defeat by West Indies in the opening game of the T20 series in Bridgetown. Captain Joss Butler and Phil Salt took the tourists to 77 for 0 at the end of the power play, and that became 112 for 2 at the halfway stage before England collapsed in the second half of the innings to be bowled out for 171. Andre Russell, making his first West Indies appearance since November 2021, was the pick of the bowlers, taking 3 for 19, while Romario Shepherd also impressed with figures of 2 for 22. The Windies also made a flying start to their innings before being pegged back, with England leg spinner Adil Rashid taking his 100th T20 international wicket in his 100th match. After a brief delay for rain, Rehan Ahmed ramped up the pressure on the hosts with 2 wickets in 2 balls, only for West Indies to hit back again through the experienced pair of captain Roveman Powell and Russell. Within the required rate rising, Powell smacked Liam Livingstone for back-to-back sixes to put the home side back into the ascendancy, and with Russell soon joining the fun, West Indies ruthlessly finished the job. Powell ended unbeaten on 31 for 15 balls, and Russell hit the winning runs with 11 balls to spare to finish 29 not out from 14. The teams now head to Grenada for the second T20 on Thursday, with West Indies 1 up in the 5-match series. And finally, on football, Manchester United's season of misery plunged even further into the depths of despair as they exited the Champions League and the group stage after defeat by Bayern Munich at Old Trafford. Eric Ten Hag's side beat 3-0 at home to Bournemouth in the Premier League on Saturday, needed to beat the Bundesliga champions and hope that there was no winner in the other group game between Copenhagen and Galatasaray. And even though they were winners of Group A, United were still unable to fulfill their bargain on a night of bitter disappointment. United were already handicapped by first half injuries to England duo Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, with news filtering through that Copenhagen were ahead in Denmark. Bayern sealed by scoring the winner 20 minutes left. England captain Harry Kane inevitably was involved with a deft touch to release Kingsley Coman, who United keep Onan for the Stratford end. United won just one of their 6 groups games in the competition and defeat against Bayern. They also missed to drop into the Europa League by finishing 3rd. In the other match, in Copenhagen beat Galatasaray 1-0 to qualify for the last 16. That's sports in our NRP break of the day, brought to you by Hepburn's Glass. They are located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica. We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, please send this information to our email address at nationalreligiousmedia@gmail.com or call 876-336-9928. That's our local news and sports. Stand by now for the latest international news, courtesy of the Voice of America. VOA being our international partner, we thank them very much. And we go now to hear from the VOA with our international news.
This is VOA News. I'm Tommy McNeil. Ukraine's president, alongside U.S. President Joe Biden, pleaded with U.S. lawmakers to approve $61 billion in aid to the country as it continues its fight off the Russian invasion.
Zelensky continued to appeal for stronger air defenses and said his nation would not concede territory.
I have a question to these people if they are ready to give up their children to terrorists. I think no.
Russia's foreign ministry accused Zelensky of cadging, slang meaning to beg for something undeserved, and said he is an American puppet. U.S. taxpayers are showing signs of Ukraine fatigue, and some Republicans question why about a third of U.S. money goes not toward weapons, but government assistance. It's now up to Congress to decide if Ukraine gets what they seek before the inevitable arrival of a cruel enemy that strikes without remorse. Winter. Anita Powell, VOA News, the White House.
Signs are growing that Israel's facing growing diplomatic isolation in its war against Hamas, as the United Nations voted on Tuesday to demand immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza, while the U.S. President Joe Biden warned Israel's indiscriminate bombing of civilians was costing it global support.
After dire warnings by UN officials about a growing humanitarian crisis in Gaza, more than 3/4 of the 193-member UN General Assembly backed the resolution. The UN and Israel voted against the measure, along with 8 other countries.
Ceasefire means one thing and one thing only: ensuring the survival of Hamas.
The resolution is not binding, but it carries political weight, reflecting a global view on the war. A similar vote was held in the 15-member UN Security Council last week and vetoed by the United States.
Reuters, Diane Toe, this is VOA News.
Thank you very much, VOA, for the latest news there on the international scene. Now stand by for the weather report and forecast coming up right here on this station, nrpmediaja.com, and of course, NRP Media JA on our YouTube and Facebook channels. Welcome now to the latest weather report and forecast as supplied to us by the National Meteorological Service of Jamaica. The Met Service says that there is a significant feature of a trough and low-level jet stream across Jamaica. The trough and low-level jet stream are expected to remain across the island over the next few days. In the 24-hour forecast this morning, expect isolated showers across sections of northeastern parishes, otherwise partly cloudy. This afternoon, expect isolated showers mainly across sections of central and western parishes, partly cloudy elsewhere, windy especially along coastal areas. Tonight, expect conditions to become fair. In terms of our 3-day forecast, that's a Thursday through to Saturday, Thursday and Friday, isolated morning showers across sections of northeastern parishes, isolated afternoon showers across sections of central and western parishes, windy mainly along coastal areas. On Saturday, expect partly cloudy conditions in the morning, becoming cloudy with afternoon showers and possible thunderstorms across sections of northern parishes and hilly areas, and it will also be windy. In terms of other current regional weather features, there is a stationary front across central Cuba and a high pressure ridge across the Gulf of Mexico. Maximum temperatures expected for today and in Kingston and Montego Bay, 31 degrees Celsius in Kingston and 30 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. That's the weather report and forecast right here on NRP Radio. And with that, we've come to the end of our news presentation this morning. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. Tourism Minister hails Jamaica's tourism industry as a remarkable success. PNP says that violent crimes continue despite the use of SOEs. Businesses urged to embrace more use of CCTV to help in preventing and solving crimes. And in sports, West Indies win England again in first of a 5-match T20 series in Barbados yesterday. The full information package today came to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. And the word of God in Luke 1:46 and 47 says, "My soul praises the Lord. My heart rejoices in God, my Savior." This is NRP Media and Radio. The time is 7 a.m. And thank you so much. It is 7 o'clock, as you've heard. Here is our invitation for you to join us again this evening at 6:30 for the NRP Evening News Roundup. Remember, we invite you and your feedback to this newscast via WhatsApp at 876-336-9928 or any of the platforms that you are listening. We invite you also to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NRP Media JA and click on the notification bell. Our radio platform at nrpmediaja.com is always operating 24/7, 365 days per year for your listening pleasure. Join this growing medium. Feel fulfilled and informed. I am Leon Nash for NRP News. And have for yourself a good rest of your morning. Drive with other road users in mind, and for your own sake and family, please try as best as possible to stay safe. Good morning, good morning, good morning, wherever you are across the country. It is just about a minute. I make that 2 minutes now after the hour of 7 o'clock. You're now invited to listen to the feature on this station. It's called Let the Word Speak with Reverend Paul Blair. Do enjoy, and we look forward to meeting you and catching up with you another day, another time today, right here on this station. Stay with us as we close off on the YouTube and the Facebook accounts, and we go over to radio for the program Let the Word Speak. We thank you for your time, and please